Great. I think that answers a lot. So yes, we have spoken about your journey in Wipro. Now that shift, like as you spoke, like you can juggle between MNCs and product-based companies, right, and startups. So what was your thought process that was going on when you shifted from MNC, like the Wipro, to 𝗤𝘂? So what was your thought process, and like what went through that thing?
So when I started giving interviews, I was getting calls only for MNCs. I hardly used to get a call from a startup, or maybe I never got a call from a startup initially. And when I was giving interviews, I cleared a couple of interviews, but the pay scale was not as great as I was expecting, and I was a little bit demotivated because I was not sure what to do. Because I was not clearing the interviews. Even if I'm clearing the interviews, the pay was not good. So I had a friend in my. I was staying in a PG, and he was my roommate. And during my struggle, he cleared interview for a startup, and he told me about his experience and about the way he's treated in the company and the salary hike which he has got. So that gave me a kick. Let's not restrict myself to MNC. I have to try for a startup. So one thing I would say, like, if you're in MNC, you won't get a call from a startup just like that. You have to put a lot of efforts, because a startup company prefers someone who has worked in a startup. So that there you have a kind of struggle for yourself. So what you have to do is that, but what I did is that I promised myself I'll not apply for a MNC. I'll only apply for startups. I'll give interviews only for startups and product-based companies. It's okay if I'll be getting rejected. I'll prepare myself, and that was my goal. So what I did, I used to give interviews. I used to apply only for startup and product-based companies. Maybe I was rejected in the 40-50 interviews when I got finally into 𝗤𝘂. So what I used to do after every interview, I used to come back and I used to sit, okay, what are the things which I didn't do well in the interview? What are the areas I'm not able to answer well in the interview? And those things I need to again prepare. So that was my challenge or my struggle. And then finally I was able to get through the 𝗤𝘂's interview. And now when I'm in a startup, I don't get calls from MNCs at all. To be very frank, for past 2.5 years, whenever I have got a call for a new offer, I haven't got any offer from my MNC. So that's how the psychology works. So if you are an MNC, if you want to shift to a startup, you have to put a little bit more effort. From shifting to a startup to an MNC, it would be not that difficult, because the MNC would be knowing that you have good knowledge, you have good exposure, and you have been into pressure, so they will hire you. But sometimes, which I have heard from my friends, is that MNCs are not able to pay or to match the salary which you are getting in your startup. So usually what happens, if you switch to a startup once in your life and you are starting getting that exposure and that salary, then it becomes hard to go back to the MNC. But it's your call. If you want some peaceful life, and if you want to have settle down and with a good salary, not as good as a startup, then maybe you can switch to an MNC. But if you ask me frankly, I don't think so right now, or maybe even in future, I will go to an MNC. If I got a very good opportunity, maybe I can. But as of now, whatever experience I have, I would love to be in a startup industry.
Great. Yes, and also what was your, you had your interview with 𝗤𝘂. So what, anyone listening to this, what kind of questions, or what is the basic requirement? And you have also taken interviews. Let me tell everyone that you have also taken interviews on behalf of 𝗤𝘂. So that's a plus. So what is you have, every company has a mind, right? Every company wants some kind of particular aspects from a candidate. So what 𝗤𝘂 wants from its candidate? Can you just share?
Yeah, so let's not restrict to 𝗤𝘂. I'll talk about any startup. So startup want people, I would say, who are all-rounders. They just don't want who just does their work and just go to home and that's it. They want people who are all-rounders, who can take pressure, who can manage stuff, who can take calls on your own. So obviously the first priority is you should be good in your in the technology which you're working in. If I am in testing, whatever concepts of testing is there in the market, I should be aware of all of them. even if not mastered all of them, I should have a good idea about all of them. So first priority is good, like be good in your stuff which you are doing, whether it's testing or development. Apart from this, I would say the character is very important. So the way they take interviews, they focus and see how willing you are to think, how creative you are, how open you are, how much pressure you can take, and do you have an characteristics where you can be a developer, you can be a tester, you can also manage yourself or manage a team. Like they want to, as I said, they want an all-rounder. So usually what happens, any startups, they usually take 3 to 4 rounds of interviews. So the first round would be screening. That screening could be a written exam, or maybe it could be done by HR. Depends to the different companies. Then you have 2 technical rounds, and those technical rounds would be divided in different sections. For example, I was in testing, so I had 2 rounds. After the initial screening, I had 2 rounds in 𝗤𝘂 as well as in 𝗏𝗏.
Okay.
One was in manual testing, one was in automation. And the last round was with the hiring manager, where they would see like whether as a person or as a human being, are you fit in that startup culture? Are you culturally fit? With that, what is that startup culture? Is that like you are ready to take pressure, you are ready for new challenges, and you are open. And in MNCs we have this hierarchy, like okay, this is your manager, this is your lead, or this is your tester or developer. We also have the same thing in startup as well, but people are very cool. Nobody will say that, okay, I'm a leader or I'm a manager, so you have to listen to me. Most of the startups, if you go, who are doing good in the market, they are very friendly. So they see, okay, are you in that culture? Like, will you treat everyone equally, and will you work in the direction? So yeah, so these are the things you need to focus on. And what I suggest to everyone is that if you want to switch a particular company, it could be Google, Microsoft, or whatever it is, go and see their job description. Okay, they would have mentioned the skills and the kind of responsibilities they'll give it to you. Ask yourself, are you good in all those aspects? If not, just write it down. I would say, just write down 5 or 6 companies which you are focusing on. Go to their site, see whether they have a job as per your criteria. If they have, see their description, what roles and responsibilities they are expecting from you, and just write from all the 5-6 companies and just ask yourself, I am good in all these or not. If not, just pick point those stuff which you should learn, which you want to learn. Prepare for 2-3 months, and I'm pretty sure you can clear any interview.
Wow, it's a very good point that you told of self-introspection. I maybe out of 5 or 6 skills, I have only 3 skills. So it's not that I have only 3 skills. I can do my hard work and learn all the rest of the 3 skills, so that the next time the company has a opening, I can apply, and the chances of getting into that company raises by exponentially. So
if you're good in 3 points, as you said, right? And if you are a really good human being, if you have really good confidence and you can take the pressure, I'm pretty sure if the rest stuff you just know basics, company will hire you for sure, because they know that, okay, maybe you will pick it up, you can learn it later. So you have to show that character.
So after that, so that answers for both 𝗏𝗏 and your 𝗤𝘂. So moving on, you had your 2 major shifts after Wipro. You had your 2 major shifts, and in a span of 5 years. So many, ideally, it's a methodology you say, or is a myth maybe, that one must stay in a company for 4 to 5 years and then only shift, or in a future, HR tells you why did you shift so many times, or something like that. So you have been into the industry, you have taken interviews, you were part of that circle. So what is your take on that? Is it really true? And if not, what is the actual truth of this job shifting?
See, so when we were speaking that day on the call, I told you, I told this example of Parag, who is the CEO of Twitter now. So if you go and see his profile on LinkedIn, he has 4 or 5 switches before he joined Twitter, and he never been in a company for more than a year. So he's a prime example which says that talent speaks. Why and how you switch, there could be many circumstances. Okay, it's not you just run behind the money, or you just or you have to switch every year. It depends upon what circumstances you have switched. So yeah, there are a few companies, and even I know many people in my company which I am working on, which I have worked earlier, that many hiring managers or HRs do consider this fact, whether this guy is a durable resource or not, whether he will give more time to the company or not. So yeah, that's there, but still there are many people out there who feel that it's a right of the candidate. For example, if I'm in a company where I'm getting good exposure, I'm paid well, my promotions and my hikes are good, there is no point of changing because I'm in this company where I know everyone, I'm very comfortable, and I know people in and out, so it's good for me. Usually when you switch a company, it's not easy, because even though you're paid well, you have to shift from a team to a different team where you are unknown to everyone. Basically, you have to do a fresh start. So even for a candidate, it's not easy. The only reason a candidate is switching is because of two things. Either they are looking for a good exposure from learning perspective, or they are looking for a good salary. If a company is giving good salary and good exposure to you, you will not switch your company. So when I was in Wipro, I would say like the salary was not good, even the exposure was not good. It's good to be there for 2 years, but more than that, in the same company, in the same project, I think it's waste of time, which I did. So that's why I switched to 𝗤𝘂. Coming to Grab, I was very happy in 𝗤𝘂, and I was not planning to change to Grab. But when I got a call from Grab, and I looked the company's history and the kind of work they are offering, I was interested. Obviously, they were paying me well, but also the kind of work they have and the kind of technology they are working on, I was interested. So I went through the interview. So yes, there are few companies, few HRs, few hiring managers who will consider this fact, and you might lose some opportunities because of this if you're switching quite frequently. But there are also companies who will understand your needs, that you want to learn better, you want to earn better, and they will consider you. But I would still suggest that don't make it as a habit that every year you have to change.
Right.
If you are changing company every year, and you have changed 4 or 5 companies, nobody will trust you. There could be a possibility that maybe once you didn't get the kind of role you want, you didn't get the kind of salary you want, but you can't justify that all the 5 companies were not good and you are good.
Right.
So it's okay. You can switch, and I would suggest at least in 2 to 3 years you should definitely switch if you are not happy with the exposure and with the salary. If you are happy with that, be that a company, you will have a very good life, because it's not easy to switch and to go to a new company and place yourself, make new friends, get used to. It's always a risk. And we also have a probation period. If anything goes here and there, you will be out of a job. So it's not easy. So that's what I feel like. It depends. Try to switch in 2 to 3 years for better exposure, for better salary. But if you feel your current organization is giving both things at a very good level, you don't need to switch.
Exactly. And the conversation we had the other day, what I learned from that, at the end of the day, if you're having a learning curve toward the upper side, then it's all okay. If it's like stagnant or coming down, then you might have to shift.
Life. See, not only the learning curve. See, as you grow, as you like. For example, I told you that day, like I'm getting married in next 2 months, right? So I just cannot be in a company where I'm learning good stuff, but I'm not paid well.
Right.
Because tomorrow I have to take care of my wife, my family, and maybe next 4 or 5 years my father will retire. I have to take care of him. So I just cannot sit in a company because I'm getting to learn. I have to also earn as well, right? So I would say yes, learning should go up, and even your salary should go up.
Right.
Initially, I would say you can take a bit of risk. You can even work with low salaries and focus on your learning. But once you are reaching your 30s, like I'm 28, I'll be 30 next 2 years. So when you're reaching 30, you'll be getting married, you will be having other responsibilities. So and we majorly, now it's okay, we are working from home, but majorly we are staying in IT people or the software guys. They stay in cities like Pune, Bangalore, 𝗂𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵𝗏, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and they all are very expensive cities.
Right.
So yes, learning is your first priority, but once you have some experience, maybe 2 or 3 years, the learning and you're earning, both, like, I think both are on the same page. They're quite equal. You just cannot rely on learning, and you can and also, like, if you make more money, you're more motivated, right?
Right.
It works vice versa. It's not like that you're just running behind the money. If you're learning and if you're earning as well, I think that's a very balanced situation.
On point. Exactly. Yeah, so that was a really good thing that you said, that after having certain amount of experience, you can demand that amount to that company that is coming, right?
You should demand, because you deserve it, and you need it, not for yourself, at least for your family.
Exactly. Great question. That was my last question, summing that up. And thank you so much, Manish, for like sparing your time and coming and over a weekend. I hope I have not like wasted your time. So
I always write on LinkedIn and Quora and share my experiences, and it would be good if maybe through this video I can share this, because doesn't matter how many people will see this or not see this. I want to reach to more people, because there are many people like me, maybe who are not good with coding, or maybe who are having so much trouble in their personal life, and they want to see someone who has been through this. I'm not here to motivate. I just want to tell that everybody goes through a tough time. Just be there, hold tight, and you'll go through it.
exactly. And we are no one is here to motivate, because we can't. We can only I think motivate is a very wrong word. We say we can inspire someone, or can inspire someone.
Last, to be very frank, it doesn't last for a long time. If you are getting motivated from someone else, it won't last longer. Maybe if you watch this video, you'll feel good for maybe a couple of days, and then you are again struggling with yourself. So yeah, that's how it doesn't work. But yeah, you should get this idea that okay, everybody goes through this. Maybe today I'm earning well and I'm stable, but that doesn't mean I was like this from day one. Even I had my own struggles.
Yes. And yes, from this podcast, I will urge everyone to give it your career start. However, so it may be, you will find your path. And as Manish said, it doesn't matter from where you start, but it does matter where are you going.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
Great. So thank you so much, Manish, for coming. It was great to have you.
Same here, pleasure.